I'm happy to be here. It's a great event. You should come next year. And I'm very honored to be with this esteemed group of professionals. A lot of people know, some may not, that I actually have some Middle East background myself. So while I'm not Chaldean, I'm pretty darn close, and appreciate the opportunity to be with you. And worked very closely with a lot of the folks in the Chaldean community for many, many years, and look forward to doing so in the future. A lot of great people involved in all sorts of sides of the bench and the bar, and prosecutors, and I'm very proud of you.
First of all, it's a pleasure to be here on one event. The size is what's really amazing me the most. When I was involved with CABA many years ago, a new graduate out of law school in 1991, we had just a few members. First of all, there were not many female attorneys, and to see all of these young women graduate from law school and practice, that makes me really happy. So in the last 20 years, what an accomplishment by the group. Lots of members, very dedicated members, members that perform community service. I think it's awesome. I think it's great. For me, the law, really served what I was looking for in life, both as a prosecutor when I practiced in the courtroom and now as a judge. So I wish CABA the best. They are a very successful bar association that has always been dedicated to, what's important. They help out in the community, they help out law students, and they encourage members to become lawyers.
First of all, we are very excited to know, or to be with you here at this particular event, that it is an annual event you have to do often, and we really congratulate you for the good work done and for selecting the very right people who are awarded this, especially Ron Achu, who's a person that works with the community, mainly with the Chaldean Federation. So we really commend you for this good selection. We are very much, very much eager to work with CABA, and CABA is a vital organization in the community. We start to see that the membership is on the increase. We are excited about that, and definitely we like to see the role of CABA in helping our community in many issues related to legal issues. And we know very well that CABA has contributed a lot in doing pro bono work for the community beside what they do. So we are very proud of you, all of you, as being our sons and daughters in the community, representing us in the system of law. In the meantime, we would like to see more support from CABA and other member organizations in order to push for the Chaldean Federation of America mission, which is to help in the plight of our people, not only in the diaspora, but in Iraq, and also to help in the refugee admission programs, and also in the asylum of many of our people who cannot go back to Iraq at this time because of the terrible country conditions.
Sure.
But in the meantime, I would like to acknowledge that members of CABA has been very active, has been very supportive of what we're doing, and that is very important for all of us.
I have a great deal of concern about the future of Iraq, mainly because I have seen some actions by the government of Iraq, which are very worrisome. When we had our military leaders there, they were able to have greater impact on the government of Iraq. And now that we're pulled out, we have to remind that government through diplomatic means that they made certain commitments to the minorities in Iraq, that they wouldn't be a government of Iraq but for the fact that Americans had laid down their lives, and that they have a commitment which we're going to do everything we possibly can to hold them to, which is to not to mistreat the religious minorities in Iraq. But do I have concerns? I do, because I've seen some actions by the current government of Iraq which are very disturbing, including some of the activities relative to some of the Sunni leadership.
Okay. Well, we thank you for that answer, and we appreciate you fielding the question. Obviously, there have been many Americans who have given their lives in the Iraq War. There are Chaldeans who are there as well, who are being scrutinized heavily by the heavy population that they're outnumbered by. How do you feel that the Chaldeans, being a senator being from Michigan, knowing our community, knowing our population, the people we are, and what we face, like you talked about with regards to the issues in the government. How do you feel that the Chaldeans will fare with regards to the troops now going to be pulled out, being gone, and that their future then lies with the now democratic Iraqi government?
Right. When we had military there, I worked very closely with our military to make sure that we would do everything we could in the area, particularly where the Christian community is in Iraq, to protect them, to hold the government of Iraq accountable, number one. Number two, to create, to form security forces in the villages, particularly in the Nineveh area, which would protect those villages. There's a lot, as you all know, hundreds of thousands of refugees inside of Iraq and outside of Iraq. The Christian population of Iraq has probably been reduced from perhaps 1.25 million to 1/3 to 1/2 of that amount. So we have a major refugee problem. But we also want to do what we can to preserve a Christian community in Iraq. That's also important to the Christian communities, not just to take care of the refugees, which we do everything we can to help, but also to try to provide security for the Christian community that remains in Iraq. And that's efforts which are carried out to the best of our ability, but putting as much pressure on the government of Iraq to live up to their commitments to this country and to remind them of the sacrifice of our country for democracy in Iraq is something which we have to do continually.
Thank you very much, Senator. If I can ask you one last question, what is it that you see in the Chaldean American Bar Association that is a glimmer of hope for our people, and what is it that we can do better? What is it that we are doing good? If there's any advice you can give us, please.
Well, I don't know that I'm the right person to give advice to anybody, but it's a very strong community. The Chaldean American community is one of our very tightly knit communities, and that's really important. And there's no inconsistency between having a very strong, tightly knit community in America and being part of a broader community. As a matter of fact, that's part of being American. You don't have to forget who you are. You can be who you are, and we accept it, we thrive on it, we celebrate it, we relish it, and so this very incredibly strong community is not just important for the Chaldean Americans. It's important for the broader community that you are a part of, and that's a gift. And we're all grateful to any community, whether it's Chaldean American or any other group in America, that remains constant and true to where you are from, is a gift to this country.
I've been very blessed, fortunate to come from a good family, which is what Chaldeans have. We have a tradition of family and God, okay? We're religious people. We follow our faith, but we also are very close in our family, and our family includes others beside our immediate family. So Chaldeans have a rich history to begin with. That's why we're so fortunate. We have much more than many other ethnic groups. The other thing that I think tells the story is that Chaldeans, why the lawyers typically are successful, and the Chaldean lawyers are successful, is because they grew up in a service business. Many of them grew up in stores, worked with their fathers, and so as a result, they were service oriented. And when you're a lawyer, that is what you do. You're not selling a product, you're selling a service. So the Chaldean lawyers I know provide great service. They are really good. But second of all, they're very ethical. They're very honest. I've dealt with many lawyers, some of which are not very good. They're not honest. With Chaldeans, when they shake your hand and they say, this is our deal, that's the deal. Chaldeans lawyers are at the very top. No one beats a Chaldean lawyer for honesty, integrity. You don't hear anything about ethics ever about Chaldean lawyers. And Chaldean lawyers, I never hesitate to recommend someone to them, especially in conflicts and things like that, because I know they're going to do a good job for them. And so I'm proud that CABA existed and grew, and it's going to be the fastest growing bar organization in the state of Michigan. It's going to only continue because we have a great crop of attorneys. We have really top lawyers. You have Bert Kassab, you have David Sanawi, you have so many that that you go on and on and on, and truthfully every single one is top notch, and I'm proud to be part of the organization. My son Jim is proud to be part of it.